All right. Well, welcome, families. We're really excited to have you here, and we're very honored and thrilled that you've chosen Gateway High School as part of your students' journey. My name is Arlene Page. I'm the Director of Enrollment. I've had the wonderful pleasure of getting to meet many of you throughout the onboarding process, and I'm here joined by our magnificent team members who will be sharing more around Gateway and how to best prepare for day one. Now, as we are going throughout our presentation, just want to share some community agreements to best support the experience here this evening. Just know that we are here working in partnership with you, and so a lot of our supports are for both parents to do their work at home with the child, while we also work with supporting the students during the school day. We also want to acknowledge and appreciate all the diversity of perspectives and also ensure that this is a respectful space throughout our time together. Now, to dust off some of our Zoom norms, please feel free to drop all questions in the chat. We've got a big team here who's monitoring the chat and will be answering questions as we move along. And please go ahead and ensure that you have muted your speaker so that way we can go ahead and listen to one another while we are presenting. During our time together here, our goal is to ensure that you understand our mission, our vision, that you know what to expect for this 24-25 school year. And throughout our time here together, we're going to be looking at our values, some basics, again, more logistics on how to support your child directly, not just academically, but also emotionally and developmentally, and then hold some space at the end for questions. But again, a reminder, please drop any and all questions that are coming up for you in the chat. We'll be monitoring that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and give it away to one of our co-principals.
Thank you, Arlene. My name is Stephanie Kazaran. I am one of the co-principals at Gateway High School. I definitely recognize a couple of names, and I'm excited that you all have made the decision to send your student to Gateway, and I'm excited to get to meet them in person on Friday. I am one of the co-principals in a duo, and what I primarily oversee is what student support looks like at Gateway. That includes things like climate and culture, how school feels for young people, how they feel in our physical space and our building. I often support scheduling, thinking about the classes kids are taking and ensuring they're on A to G pathway for college, and often work really closely with families. And so I'm thrilled to also get to know many of you beyond tonight. Next up, we got Becca.
Hi, everyone. I am the other one, other co-principal, and it's great to be here with you. And we're super excited to get to know your family over the next 4 years. My focus is on teaching and learning. So thinking about how to have a rich, appropriately challenging academic program for your young people, making sure that the way we approach teaching and learning is exciting and creative, and gets our young people ready for what's next after high school. And a big part of my role is supporting our phenomenal faculty in growing in their practice. We are on day 5 of getting ready for the school year together. I know that your students are going to love their teachers. It's a fantastic group, and I can't wait for them to meet on Friday. And I think next up will be Erin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Hartfield. I'm an instructional lead in academic. I run the academic intervention program at Gateway High School. I also support with scheduling, but I do math coaching and a lot of teacher support within the building. And then, like I said, I also help support academic intervention.
One of the things that makes Gateway a really special place to be is the love and leadership from a lot of the adults in the building. One of them includes our Dean of Students, Mr. Howard, who is there really holding our restorative practice and behavioral support program. He is also often the first smiley face you see at the school entrance in the morning when you do your drop-offs. And so definitely say hello to Mr. Howard when you see him. We've got other leaders that are going to be popping in throughout the night as well, and just want to extend gratitude for all that they do for our very special community as well. And so at this point, hopefully you are familiar with what the Gateway experience looks like. You all have made the decision again to send your students to us. Many of you have had older students who have already come to Gateway, and we want to just reground in what you can know to be true in a Gateway experience. And that is that you as a student get to engage in a personalized, student-centered, joyful learning experience. You will have teachers who really get to know you and your learning style. They will adapt to make things work for you, both in terms of supporting you and in challenging you. We often talk about developing curiosity, mindset, skills, and knowledge that support with post-secondary success. So whether you're thinking about college already or you're thinking about a career or a job, our role is to make sure that while you are at Gateway, you are developing the mindsets and the muscles that you are going to need to be successful in life. Last thing again is valuing resilience, integrity, advocacy for self and community. I think Beta just gave us a great example of what that looks like in action, and respect for differences. And so again, we are always thinking about the young people who come to Gateway and how they leave, and ensuring that they're developing the values that we know are so important in life.
All right. It's all getting very real for young people anticipating starting orientation Friday, but classes on Monday. And so I wanted to go over what the schedule looks like, the nitty-gritty. So we have a 7-block schedule. On Mondays, students will see all their teachers in a shorter length block. And then blocks 1 through 4 meet Tuesday and Thursday. Blocks 5 through 7 meet Wednesday and Friday. You can see that the start time stays the same, 8:30. And then the release time varies. It's 3:50 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, an early release on Wednesday for staff development, and then an early release 3:10 on Friday. This slide is just a larger version, or the next slide is a larger version of the schedule. Students will get that on Friday with their particular classes on the back. And I wanted to draw your attention to the flex blocks that appear on the schedule. Flex is a huge part of how we get students what they need in a personalized way. So 3 times a week, they have a 45-minute block where they choose where they'd like to be. They might be getting some extra help doing a revision or a retake in a small group setting, and we call those practice and grow flexes. So they'd sign up with a particular teacher. They might be doing an apply and extend flex. So that might be an additional conversation or lab or a talk with a professional in a subject area. They might also choose to get some PE hours. They need to earn 240 PE hours over the course of their time. So flex is a great way to get those going. Then we offer enrichment flex every other Friday, and that's when our clubs do a lot of their meetings. We offer community service opportunities, since students do need to be earning 100 hours of community service during their time at Gateway. And then we also partner with a lot of outside organizations that offer enrichment opportunities during these flexes. Students will be signing up in advisory, so they don't have to figure this out on their own. And we give 9th graders and new students extra care in making sure they can navigate the app. They can also be assigned to a flex if a teacher sees that that would be really helpful for them. And they are a required part of our program. So students' grade in advisory is based on their attendance in both flex and advisory.
Good evening, families. Hi, my name is Jasmine Redmond. The kids call me Miss Jasmine. I'm the attendance specialist here at Gateway. It is my second year. And my role has a lot to do with supporting students and families who are experiencing barriers to daily attendance to school. So that is really like what I'm here for, is more on the family end of things. I'll go into it in some of my next slides about different processes, like letting us know when your kid will be out for the day. But my focus for the most part is larger picture, breaking down those barriers that may exist that keep your kids from being here every day. Attendance matters. This is something we all know, but we're taking special care this year to message this not only to our families, but also to our students. Here are some talking points that you can use at home to make sure that the conversation keeps going beyond just our walls and into home about why showing up every day is important. Obviously, there's better grades. There's a higher correlation with on-time graduation rates, graduation rates when students have consistent positive attendance. College and career readiness, we have a really robust college and career program and college counseling. Obviously, like showing up every day and showing out shows colleges, potential future employers that you're dedicated to what you do. Connecting socially, there's a lot of opportunities here. Clubs, our SSO, which I think we'll be learning a little bit more about in a bit, and just other social-based programs and resources that we offer. So to be here is to be able to access those. And then also just well-being in general and keeping healthy routines. So students obviously must be present to learn, and we're all in this together to get our kids back into the habit of coming every day and sort of working off that summertime slump a little bit. But there are ways that you will be notified if your student has an attendance issue. So you will be set up with Parent Square and Parent Portal notifications, and you'll be notified daily if your student has an unexcused absence. So that is a reason beyond sickness or any of your normal excusable reasons, an unexcused absence or an exit class, or 2 or more tardies. So if your student has left or not shown up to a period, you will be able to get those attendance notifications online. And they will also be there for you to access whenever you have a moment to do so. This is also going to be delivered to you in another form. I know this is quite a wordy slide, but I'll just get to the essential bits of it. When you want to excuse one of your child's absences, please, you can email or call or leave a voicemail at our main office for Miss Salinas, who is providing the translation for us right now. Excusable reasons are your typical reasons: illness, religious holidays, court appointments, funeral services. Those are all excused absences. And then ones beyond that will be counted as unexcused. You can track your students' attendance on PowerSchool. Like I just mentioned, you'll be notified via phone whether your student has any sort of absence. And once you let us know that your child will be sick or out that day, that will be taken care of. And reaching out to for support, that's Miss Salinas, our office manager. This is also the number and the email that you can use if you are going to report a child's absence for the day. And then also myself, again, Jasmine Redmond, attendance specialist, here to support some of those bigger picture student engagement and re-engagement goals for you and your family. Make sure you're here and learning.
So we are fortunate at Gateway to have some community-based organizations that partner with our school directly on our campus. We have a clubhouse through the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco. We also have a partnership with the Richmond Neighborhood Center, and they provide services on campus as well. and also do a lot of family engagement work. And so you may hear from Tiffany Duncan, who's a program manager who likes to work directly with families to help build relationships and support of their students.
As Jasmine mentioned, that you will be receiving some communications via Parent Square. And so to talk about just a few communication platforms, I want to kind of go through these. Just know that these are some platforms designed to best assist you in staying connected and also seeing what's happening at school, and more specifically, how your student is doing in school. And so starting out with Parent Square, Parent Square is the platform that Gateway uses to share communications, both through emails, through text alerts. Many families at this point should have already received an email invite to activate your account. And so this is both a way for you to receive notices from us either on the daily or on a weekly basis. And then we've also created a group on there for our new families to also interact with one another and ask questions and chat. So you may have seen a few posts from me earlier this week. And then secondly, there is Power School. Once the school year begins, all of our new students will be receiving a Power School parent portal account. Now, the students will also be receiving a Power School account that is for specifically the student. The parent portal account allows a few other features, such as being able to do your annual registration forms, your intent to return forms. But more importantly, you'll be able to see your students' schedule, your students' attendance on how they're doing there, see their grades, and then be able to email their teachers directly if you have any questions. So keep an eye out for logins on that information. The date on there is incorrect, so apologies about that. But once the school year begins, in preparation for back to school night, you'll be receiving some access codes and passwords to create your Power School parent portal account. And Stephanie's going to talk about Google Classroom.
Yeah, so Google Classroom is our platform for students to access content for their courses. That is something students will get hooked up with right away. They will get classroom codes from each of their teachers, and that'll be how they can access classwork, it's how they can submit homework, and track their submissions on work that they've done. And so if you are someone who likes to see examples of what your kid is learning or the kind of work that they are submitting, Google Classroom is going to be the space to be able to do that. We also share with families Google Classroom code so that you can also join and have a little bit of a eye view of what's going on in their classes. I think this one is still me too. I apologize. All right. So, like you've heard, communication is really essential. A lot of important information can be found on our school's website under the parents section. We use Parent Square very often for messages. We are already crafting our welcome back to school message with key information for Monday. We definitely appreciate questions and feedback when they come up, and I am always accessible, and I know Becca is as well, to hearing from families. We often will push out surveys to get to hear from you. We do have an annual survey that goes out mid-year, and those surveys really help us make decisions about the kind of programming and resources that we offer for students. And again, use PowerSchool and Google Classroom as tools to help support your student.
So when we're thinking about grading at Gateway, the goal of grades are to communicate to students and stakeholders, families, caregivers, what the students' academic skills are, what their academic knowledge is, and what we call a process of learning skills, so that students are able to receive appropriate support, feedback, and grow. It's a proficiency-based grading skill that we work on. And so, like I said, the focus is on what students know and can do. In the grade book, 80% of their grade is proficiency. And so those are usually projects, tests, assessments of any kind. And then process of learning. But process of learning is just practice. So oftentimes you'll see homework coded as process of learning, anything that helps them practice before they take an assessment or do a presentation is considered process of learning.
I can keep it moving. I'm gonna share a little bit about the technology that students use at school. We're a one-to-one school, which means that students will have their own device. It is a GHS configured Chromebook that they need to bring to school every day. And this part's super important, bringing it to school fully charged in a backpack or bag, and with their charger. There is an acceptable use form that's shared on PowerSchool that explains family responsibility and liability. Students can't use other laptops on campus. The reason is our Chromebooks are configured to play with our Wi-Fi and other aspects of our system. And so they won't really be able to use other devices in a useful way. So those are fine for home, but they need to be using a Google Chromebook on campus. And if students need any support with their device, there is an email address linked here, and it's on our website where they can get some more support on that. I'm going to pause here so we can go back a slide. Sorry for jumping in there, Ms. Hartfield, just to explain a little bit more about grading.
No problem. So there are 8 reporting terms as this, as you can see on the slide. So we want to make sure that families and students know where they are. They can understand where they are with their skill building, their academic knowledge. And so we want to keep everybody in the loop. So there's mid-quarter and then there's quarterly grades. So if a student gets a mid-quarter report sent home, that means that they have an incomplete. And an incomplete at Gateway just means that we don't know what they know and can do yet. And so they have the ability to get rid of that incomplete, but that's just what that's telling you or myself as a teacher. And to earn a grade, the student needs to attempt all proficiency assignments. So in the grade book, like I said, 80% of their grade is proficiency. And so they need to attempt all proficiencies in order to earn a grade. And then at the end of the quarter or the marking period, the incompletes turn into Fs because that marking period is closed. So that period of learning is closed. And so that's how we close out the quarter in general.
All right, so I want to share about the cell phone policy for 9th graders, so students and families know what to expect. So in thinking about our goal for this policy, and if we can click one more time. Thank you so much. We want to balance what we know is a big need for young people, feeling autonomous and independent, and like your growing maturity is being recognized is super important. And we all have to learn how to manage our devices, and we want students to gain those skills. At the same time, we know that cell phones can be a big distraction and can take kids away from learning. And going back and forth about the use or non-use of a cell phone in the middle of class can really turn into a power struggle that takes the whole class community potentially away from learning. So the expectation is that 9th graders are able to use phones before school, after school, and at lunch, as well as during passing periods. But they won't be able to use their phones during class time. And so when they enter a 9th grade classroom, they'll be putting their phone in a cell phone box that will get locked for the duration of class. And then as they leave the class, they'll pick their phone back up. So if you had an emergency and you needed to get a hold of your student in the middle of class time, that's when you would call our main office, 415-749-3600. And that number is shared in all the places. But that's the best way to get in touch with your young person in the event of an emergency or urgent situation.
All right, I'm going to jump in next. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gateway Community. So excited to meet your 9th graders on this Friday. I'm going to be sharing about how to support your student emotionally and developmentally. So my name is Mr. Bird. I am part of the 9th grade seminar team. I also teach gardening and horticulture, which is an amazing class. I recommend you encourage your young student to sign up for it at some point in the next 4 years. I also teach 9th grade seminar with Miss Marr and Miss Cabrera, who's also one of our college counselors. And so social emotional learning is really critical. At Gateway, we use this framework and we acknowledge that we are in partnership in the classroom, in the school, with all of you as our families and caregivers, as well as the larger community. And we focus on self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, responsible decision-making, and relationship skills in 9th grade and throughout their 4 years here at Gateway. 9th grade seminar, which is a required course here at Gateway, focuses on self-awareness and responsible decision-making. In addition, all of our students meet in advisory twice a week, and in advisory, the focus is on community building, self-awareness, social awareness, as well as relationship skills. So what is 9th grade seminar? 9th grade seminar is a wonderful and unique offering at Gateway. Every single 9th grader will complete 9th grade seminar. And the focus is on supporting a healthy transition to high school, learning about the Gateway way, the different student learning outcomes, as well as process of learning expectations. We have a focus on health and wellness. We focus on nutrition, including last year we visited Alamany Farm and talked about healthy local food systems. We talked about fitness, growth and development. As I mentioned, there's a huge focus on social emotional learning, communication, self-care is a huge focus, so we can have our young students support themselves throughout their high school experience, healthy relationships, mental health, as well as community values. We hold circles, we talk about self-awareness, and talk about critical thinking and give opportunities for public speaking. All of this is focused around the theme of responsible decision-making. As we know, 9th graders need positive peer groups and a sense of community. They need space to further their skills and interests. We're giving them opportunities to develop lifelong practical and organizational skills and to develop a sense of self-awareness and self-advocacy, and providing guidance on making responsible decisions. And we are supporting our 9th graders by encouraging them to make new friends, encouraging them to participate in the wide variety of sports and clubs that Gateway offers on and off campus, and support organization, self-awareness, and self-advocacy, and talking through cause and effect, planning ahead, and decision-making. So I'm really excited to meet your 9th graders on Friday, and feel free to reach out to me or anyone on the 9th grade seminar team. And we look forward to working with your young students. Thank you so much. And next up is the learning support team.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cassandra Doherty. I'm the Director of Inclusive Practices for Gateway Public Schools. I get to work half-time at the middle school, half-time at the high school. So if you're youngsters coming from the middle school, it's very possible we already know each other. So excited to continue to get to work with you. I help organize our learning supports for young people with learning differences. So we do have learning specialists that work in each grade. Those folks are co-teaching in classes. They're teaching specialized classes for kids that need that. We also have academic intervention that's provided for some students. Our 504 coordinator is John Talley. So if your student has a 504, you will be connected with that person. So if you have any specific questions about learning supports or services, or your child has an IEP or a 504, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everybody. My name is Angelica Posadas. I'm the Director of Counseling. I am working out of the Student Support Office, the SSO. And I'm going to kick it off to Frankie to share a little bit about who we are and what we do. And this is Asen.
Awesome. Thank you, Angelica and Asen, for that introduction. As Angelica mentioned, the SSO is the Student Support Office, and I am part of the Student Support team. I also like to give a quick little introduction to a couple of other members of that team. On the Zoom, we actually have Amanda Rodriguez, our student interventionist, and Kanante Howard, our Dean of Students, who I just saw hopped on. Shout out to you all for all you do. The Student Support Office is a space for students seeking extra support, whether they're feeling overwhelmed in the classroom, trying to fulfill a need. I mean, snacks is a huge thing, or just need a caring adult to speak to. Our doors are always open. We primarily focus on students' social, emotional, and mental health needs in a variety of ways. We partner with a lot of clinicians to bring in outside providers to help with one-on-one supports, offering therapy sessions and counseling sessions, as well as offering mentorship to some of our young adults. For those of you coming from the middle school, I think you'll be familiar with the SSO. We're a little bit more comprehensive because of the amount of staff that we have available. And then our space is kind of catered to our students. We provide couches, a quiet space, fidgets, arts and crafts, just to allow our students a space to kind of breathe and get away from, some of the things that come up in classrooms, and provide those types of supports. Our office is located on the second floor, right across from the main office. If you have any questions, concerns, or want to get in contact to learn more about our services, please feel free to reach out to us. Best person to reach out to is Angelica. Her email is currently on screen at aposadas@gatewayhigh.org, or feel free to call the main office to get into contact with us. A-Rod, Howard, Posadas, if there's anything that we want to add, please do so.
No, thank you, Frankie. You were great. My name is Ms. Rodriguez. A lot of students as well as staff call me A-Rod. My first name is Amanda. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am one of the mental health counselors in the Student Support Office. And like Mr. Frankie just described, the myriad of ways in which we offer supports to students. I'll say the one thing that maybe wasn't mentioned is basic first aid. So if a student, needs a Band-Aid or ibuprofen throughout the day, or an ice pack because they bumped their knee out on the yard, things like that, we also offer that, as well as every other, way that Mr. Frankie mentioned how we support students. And Mr. Howard, if you want to chime in, go ahead. Welcome.
Yeah, I'll chime in a little bit.
Great.
Hey, everybody, I'm Kanante Howard. The students call me Mr. Howard, and I work adjacent to the SSO, and I primarily deal with the restorative practices. So if students are having issues with another student or a teacher, then I step in and help with that. Also, if there's behavioral issues, then I'll step in as well and figure out ways and strategies to help the students or the teachers kind of get through class and make sure that they're able to learn and getting the support that they need. And also I provide some de-escalation tools with the students as well. I enjoy working with my folks from the SSO. We work well together, and your kids are in good hands when they're with us.
Thanks, Kanante. All right, we are just about there. I know this has been a lot of information. Our last slide that I'm sure is coming very soon has a few ways you can get involved at Gateway. This is really, tonight has been us sharing information with you. We want to hear from you too and learn with and from you. And so we'll have a few ways that can happen. The first is that we'll be offering a series of family education nights where you'll be able to learn about the academic, social, emotional, and other ways you can support your child. We also have our affinity family meetings, our APAC and our ELAC, that happen in conjunction with those nights. So we'll be sharing more about the timing of those events and asking for your feedback. What would you like those events to focus on? What would be most helpful to you as the parent or caregiver of an adolescent? And then we're going to have a number of other events where you can get to know each other, get to know the school. So those include the pancake breakfast on September 7th, the Great Gateway Gathering, October 4th. And then we hope to see all caregivers come out for back to school night, where you'll learn more about our program and also get to meet your child's teachers. And that's September 12th on campus. I don't want to forget to mention a very popular way that families get involved, which is actually to show love and appreciation for the staff. Every month we have a staff appreciation lunch where families are so kind in providing food for our really hardworking and phenomenal staff. Look out for Parent Square messages asking if you'd be willing to bring something. We super appreciate it. It is a high point for our community. And with that, we're going to close out with some information about athletics.
Hi, everyone. I am the Interim Athletic Director, Raul Salinas. And right now we have 3 sports ongoing with tryouts: cross country, volleyball, and boys soccer, girls volleyball. One thing to note is that the students must have an eligibility packet done. Looks like this. There is one in the office, or you can get a PDF. I can send one to you. My email is down there, rsalinas@gatewayhigh.org. If you send it to the athletic director, I'll still get the email, so I can still respond. If you have any questions about tryouts, which have already started yesterday, volleyball and soccer will continue this week until the next week. There are no cross-country meetings this week, but they will continue Monday the 19th. And tryouts will start once school finishes, which is at around 3:50. And I hope to see you all there. And please be sure to have this done. Otherwise, you will not have the ability for your child to play. Once again, that's the boys soccer schedule. They play at Kimball, which is right next to Gateway. And volleyball will be playing in the gym, so it's not too far for them to make it across. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the question box. And if I don't have the chance to answer them, I've also put alerts on Parent Square, and you can ask questions there, and I will reach back as soon as possible. Thanks.
And families, again, I know you've probably seen some emails and posts about some final reminders as you prepare for day 1. Registration. So I know that all families at this point would have done their initial acceptance paperwork, but you also have annual registration forms where we collect emergency contact information. You can update your own phone number and mailing address and email information, a few other waivers that are signed. And so these are mandatory for all new and returning families. These were just pushed out in July. And so if you have not done any paperwork since you initially accepted, please check your email. You can also just email me your student's full name and grade level, and I'd be happy to send you their personalized information in order to get you all squared away with that. Parent Square, as you've heard throughout the presentation, it is a way for you to continuously be connected on a daily basis around attendance, around alerts that are happening, such as tryouts, any other items. Please make sure you have received an email in your inbox around activating your account. So please go ahead and ensure to activate it. If you need any assistance, feel free to reach out to the main office or again to myself. A reminder, pop in any questions into the chat and we'll go ahead and get those answered as the team is monitoring the chat. And then finally, Friday, August 16th, we are excited to welcome all of our new students, all of our ninth graders, all of our transfer students entering grades 10 through 12 in our new student orientation. Please arrive by 8 a.m. and the entire duration of the day will last until 3 p.m. Students will meet their advisors, they will receive their schedules, they will get a chance to tour the campus and see where their classrooms are, and also get their assigned Chromebooks. At about 10 a.m., all students will be loading onto our buses and getting a wonderful trip to the UC Berkeley campus. There is a permission slip that is required for this portion of the day. You've also seen Parent Square posts. You can either complete the orientation permission slip via Parent Square. If you need a copy of it sent and emailed to you, I will go ahead and do so. Feel free to email me. And so your student can either bring it a signed paper form with them on that day, or you can scan and email it to myself as well. We will not accept any over-the-phone approvals. It must be a signed waiver. A few reminders about that day: wear some comfortable walking shoes as they will be walking around the UC Berkeley campus, and also ensure that they have a water bottle with them so they stay hydrated throughout the day. Here's some email reminders for everybody who you can contact. But again, if there's someone's contact information that is not here on this slide, we are happy to put you in connection with them. So feel free to reach out if there's anything else that you need in order as we prepare for day one and for orientation. And throughout your school journey here at Gateway, we are happy to respond and to make sure that you are feeling best prepared. And we are very enthusiastic and excited to meet our new students who are joining the community. We'll be receiving Chromebooks the day either during orientation if your student comes in orientation, or on day one. So if a student is not able to make it during orientation, you will get the Chromebooks and their schedules on day one of school. We'll go ahead and stick around and pop in any final responses from the chat. But if you need to go, thank you so much for being here. And we are really excited, looking forward to meeting you all shortly. Thanks again.